This is the Said No One Ever podcast.
A podcast about things you never knew you wanted to hear about.
I'm Ian Bennett.
And I'm Martin Moore.
Let's get into it. My levels are good?
Test.
Let's go, man.
You're gonna die. We always do really clickbait
Gosh.
episode titles to
I
like
hope
reel
we
people
don't
in.
die.
What
I
is
hope we
the
don't.
what is the title?
You're going to die.
I hope we don't die. Gosh.
Again, you picked the old man topic. For
Yeah,
the old man.
I know. I feel bad now. Now I'm thinking of it.
That wasn't the reason.
God.
You've lived a really interesting life, so I think you're gonna bring
I have had
some
an interesting
cool
life, and I don't want to end it
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Yes, I agree.
All right, here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Said No One Ever podcast.
Bam.
Ian.
Bam.
How was your weekend?
In the building, man. The weekend was chill, man. Just coaching, taking off. No life. You got 2 daughters, you know. I got.
How are the girls doing?
Man, they're so mouthy. I love them to death, but they're mouthy, and they, you know what? They always want money from me. Like they say, "Hi, Dad, can I get 20?" And then that's it. And then once they don't do any chores.
No, thank you.
No, sometimes, but it's like they're just butter me up though. That's why it's not. I don't think it's genuine
Because
you know?
you're the pushover parent, right?
I'm the good cop, yeah, and the wife is the bad cop. So yeah, it sucks being. Now I'm thinking it sucks being the good cop because they always come to you.
Sure.
You know, what's been going on with you, man?
So I had a pretty interesting weekend. We ripped out our driveway, our patio, our
What?
sidewalk. Yeah, so our
It
yard
was hot, dude.
Our yard is pretty fucked up.
It was hot. Why are you doing work out
I
there?
also watched this interesting YouTube video called "A Time Lapse of the Future: A Journey to the End
Oh my
of
God.
Time."
You always watching boring
I know,
stuff.
I watch weird
man.
stuff.
God.
This was like a 25-30-minute video of basically showing how scientists think the universe might end. And it started off with like Earth in 2020, and it showed like the oceans rising and the polar caps melting, and then it showed like the sun expanding in the year, I don't know what it was, 850 billion trillion years from now, gobbling up Mars and Earth and all this. And then it showed all the stars exploding, and then it showed like black holes, and then all of a sudden there was just like
You're a different
nothing left. Time was meaningless, and it was depressing. And I was
Yeah,
like,
why are you watching that stuff?
what is the point of life then if it's all going to end? And
Oh
so
gosh.
that's today's episode.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
going
excited.
to die.
Oh gosh.
We have a
hopefully
great guest. He
Really good.
is the former mayor of Oak Creek,
What?
host of the Steve Scaffidi show on 6W20TMJ,
Jeez.
a good friend of mine, Steve Scaffidi. Welcome to the show.
Oh my God, this is fun. Martin used to be on my show, and
I
I'm
know.
doing his podcast.
Right?
You guys both have a great look, by the way. Martin, you're in great shape. I've been
thank
working
you.
out.
Thank you.
You're always in shape.
Ian's
You're
always
happy.
in good shape.
I have to be. It's my
The
job.
hat's good. The black, is it all black with you all the time?
Sometimes you know, I'm actually I'd like to brighten it up, but I haven't been dressing up lately.
Yeah.
So.
Now let me ask this.
Sure.
I'm not going to take over the show. 'cause I
No,
just
take
did-
over.
Take it over. Take it over. Take
You're
it
the
over.
guest.
You have the old man topics because I'm the oldest guy in the room. Is that what's going on here?
So
Because I feel that.
Martin
The
set you up.
reason we wanted to have you
up.
on the show, and I'll let you. Why don't you tell the listeners really quick,
Yeah.
kind of who you are, a little quick bio about your history and where what you're doing and
All
where
right,
you
1
came
minute,
from.
set the clock. I was born in England. My mom is from England, grew up in Oxford, England.
Get
My
outta
dad was in
here.
the Air Force. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
No accent because I was only there for like less than a year. Came to the States, beautiful Cudahy, Wisconsin. You know where that is, Lino
yeah.
Lake.
Yep.
My dad was a weatherman. My mom was a homemaker at the time. I think that's what they called it, housewife, whatever.
Yeah.
3 brothers. We fought all the time. We were horrible kids. We somehow managed to get through school. I went to UWM. I got a degree in broadcast journalism. Never used it until the end of the story, which I'll get to. I ended up working in television research for 20-some years.
Oh wow!
Fantastic.
I left that career. I became mayor. We had a mass shooting, which was not a good thing, and maybe we'll touch on that. Maybe
That
we
is
won't.
true.
And then at some point, somebody from WTMJ said, "You know what? You ever think about doing radio?" And I said, "Not really. Haven't really thought about it." And yet here I am, 4.5 years later, doing radio.
You got a great radio voice.
That is
you have
quite
a
the
great
story.
voice.
Thank
man.
you for that.
He does.
I'm attracted to his voice. Steve, I can say that, right?
One of the
Let's
first
hold
things I realized
it.
about Steve when I met him and I listened to his radio show, I was like, boy, I just want a voice like that.
I know.
If I could have a
And
voice
I don't
like
see that at all because I have to listen to a lot of the stuff that I do, right?
Yeah.
I record promos, and I
nice.
hate my voice,
Really?
which is not an uncommon reaction from anyone who works in broadcast.
I-
Sure, I hate my
I
voice
like
too.
my voice.
He's
That's
right.
normal.
I hate my voice.
You like your voice?
wow.
I do only because I think I'm so used to it, and I've watched the 8.
What does this tell us about Martin? I think it tells us
I'm
something.
pretentious, and
oh my
I'm
gosh.
So this episode is called "You're
man.
Going to Die," and it's going to be more of a conversation about
Literally, I'm going to die.
life, really, than death.
Jeez.
So I want to kind of get into, what is the point of life? The afterlife. Is there a God? Is there not a God? Or what do both of those things mean? What does it mean to retire? What happens to our digital lives when we die? We have all these pictures on Facebook and these tweets and these YouTube videos, this podcast, your radio show. I mean, that's all there. What happens to all that stuff? What are some of the things we've learned in life? And what does it mean to, sort of document our lives and contribute to the whole human experience? So
That's a big question.
I know, a lot to get into. So let's.
How much time do I have?
A lot to get into. So let's start with something simple, something easy, something we can 10 seconds takes us to answer. Steve, to you, what is the point of life?
Experiences, right?
Okay.
Because none of us know.
like
You can be a
that.
person of faith. You still don't know. You trust your faith. You hope that that's the case. But
Sure.
if you look at religion and faith in the world, not everybody can be right about all this stuff. There's multiple faiths and different entities you can be part of. So living the moment, experiencing as much as you can, carpe diem, seize the day, seize the moment,
that.
live it, love your life. That's my message.
I like
that's
that.
Spot on, man.
That
That's
works.
why I love
That's a tattoo.
experiences. I'm gonna
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
bumper
going to
sticker.
travel. I'm going to
Yes.
meet people. I'm going to do things that I've never done before. That's life.
Sure.
Dang, I
Ian.
like that. I like that answer because you know what I mean. Like this
Follow.
stuff,
Can you follow that up?
no,
And-
because this death stuff, man, I don't like going there, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, who does?
We're going
Right.
to, but I don't really think. You know what I mean? I try to keep it positive. Yeah, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna just wait that out, put that on the back burner for a little bit. But I love that answer. I think all about experiences. You know me. I love life. I'm a positive dude. I try to take the positive of anything, and I like to have a good time anywhere I'm at. So even if it's boring, you know me, I'm the life of the party, man.
Yeah, you are.
I'm gonna have fun if we're drinking, if we're hanging out, whatever we're doing. I'm there. So I don't think I'm really too much into the death part right now. So.
The key word you said there was positive.
Yes.
I mean, you can look at things in a lot of different ways, right? I choose the positive because it makes life more fun,
Yes.
more interesting, more dynamic. I'm always choosing the positive. Doesn't mean we're not going to talk about negative
Yeah,
things.
oh,
right?
Sure.
100%. Yeah,
You got to
no.
embrace the bad too, but make something out of it. I'm not a big fan of guys who do what I do or women who do what I do that strictly complain. Show me something.
Yes.
Give me something. What's your action plan? How are you going to make it better?
I love that.
Yep.
And that kind of touches on, what I think the point of life is. And for me, it's to participate in the progression and the success and the future of the human race and to, like you said, putting positive energy out there, being a positive person. You can touch on negative stuff, but for me, it's making a small dent in this life that I have, in making sure that the next generation of people in the earth and stuff is better off because I lived in it than not.
We all meet people every day.
Yep.
And you can actually influence and shape that relationship. You can go the wrong way, which is to be mean to that person or just ignore them.
Sure.
Or you can interact with them, learn something, experience something with them, share it. That's part of what makes me tick. That's why I've retired 3 times already. It's like I like retiring and then doing something else. And this for me has been the greatest job on the planet as a radio host.
Yeah.
Because I have really the ability to talk about whatever I want, just like your podcast. You can talk about what you want to talk about.
Sure. Let's get into that. Let's get into retirement. In my opinion, like what I do for a living, shooting photos and videos, that's fun and it's not a job. But ultimately, I don't want to work for the rest of my life. And retirement is something that I do look forward to. I don't think human beings are designed or built to just work for 50 or 60 years and then spend a decade or two going on cruise ships and eating steaks and then just pass away. So for you, what does retirement mean to you, or what did it mean to you, or what did you think it meant?
It's a pause until the next thing.
Uh-huh.
The people I think that get in trouble is they think it's the end.
Sure.
If it's the end of something, live the definition. It's the end. I don't want it to be the end. So retirement is a pause till my next thing. So when I stop doing this, I'll be doing something else. I have a lot of ideas about helping fellow seniors do things in their yards because I love landscaping.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm always going to find some different venue to go forward because going backward is not anything I'm interested in.
Right. So Ian, for you, because you're an athlete and we've talked about this on the Dream Jobs episode, and you have such a finite amount of time to kind of live your dream job. For you, do you ever think about like retirement? And,
No, that's what I'm saying. Whatever you do, I don't consider it a job. It's my passion. I love it. I could do this. Honestly, if God could, I would play till I'm 80. Okay. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's a job. I don't want to retire. I'm going to have to retire because what? I'm old. I might get an injury, God forbid. But I don't want to retire. I think if you talk to any athlete that really truly loves the sport, I mean, maybe they get burnt out, whatever. But for me, I could play this game. Like, if there could be robots, please give me some robotic legs. I would play until I'm seriously 80. So, like, I retire. I don't really want to retire unless, you know what I mean? If it's something that I'm passionate about and I love doing it, I really don't want to retire. I think it keeps you alive. Doing something keeps you alive. If I'm sitting retired on the beach, that's cool, but it's going to get old for me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't work on this tan so much, right? I'm only, you know what I mean? Like, I can't keep working on this tan, but like, I just feel like I'm here. You're going to die. I'm going to make sure I'm going to live the best out of it, right? Every moment, I'm going to take some vacation, but I'm going to work. I'm going to do stuff. I'm going to get dirty, man. I'm going to get in the field, you know?
Mm-hmm. Attitude's a big part of this. You have to have a positive attitude. I think that's something that I always try to reinforce with my kids. I have 2 daughters that are now grown up.
Yes, you
with
have 2 daughters.
Yes.
Oh, we got to talk about that.
Well, you know what that's
Jeez.
like, right? And to your point earlier, when we were
gosh.
just chatting off mic,
Yeah.
that never changes.
No,
all that
I know.
stuff.
Oh,
It
I
just
could tell.
goes. My daughter's in their 30s. It never changes.
Oh wow.
Wow. See, hey, talking to him for just 5 minutes, it's amazing that you were a mayor. How long were you a mayor for?
5 years. 5 years.
Unbelievable, because that's a serious gig, man. That is
It changed my life, and obviously, I mentioned to you guys, and
Yeah.
Martin knows this story.
And you've been through
I had
it.
a mass shooting 3
Yes.
months into my first term.
Yeah.
It blew me away.
That was the Sikh temple shooting.
Sikh temple shooting in
Yeah.
2012, August 5th, 2012.
right.
I was actually at a wedding with my Sikh friends a couple weeks ago. Here we are 9 years later.
Yeah.
Lives changed, lives affected. I've told the story a million times in speeches that I've given. If that shooting doesn't happen, here's the weirdness of life.
Yeah.
I'm not doing what I do now. I'm not on the radio because that event got me noticed by people who heard me talking about that event in speeches,
point.
on television,
point.
on radio. And they said, you know what? He's actually a pretty good communicator. Maybe he could do this.
tough
So
time,
in
yeah.
the midst of that, again, talking about pushing it positive,
Yeah.
in the midst of all that negativity, and that's just one element of that. There's other people in the temple who also feel the same way. Their lives have been changed
Yeah.
to the positive because of that day.
That was
Sure.
a tough time.
And that's
horrible.
That's
Wow.
that's what you want to come out of situations like that, and instances like that. You don't want it to set you backwards. Something horrific like that happening when you can find something positive or do something positive with that, it makes it not all for nothing, you know. And so that's great to hear.
I mean, the toughest part for me is every year that day comes up, August 5th.
Yep.
It's always going to be something that I remember because I can remember that day like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
you know, the
sure.
phone calls from the police chief, fire chief, from the president of the United States, from a mayor who did not know me, Steve Hogan, who has now passed away, mayor of Aurora, Colorado, who had a mass shooting 2 weeks prior and took it on his own initiative, again, pushing it forward, called me on my cell phone, got my number somehow and said, how can I help you? I didn't know this guy.
Wow.
And he had just
Wow.
suffered the worst tragedy you could even imagine. You know, dozens of people killed in a theater.
Yeah.
And he's looking out for me. And I've told that story a million times. It's the essence of helping somebody else in their toughest time. That's a important message. Doing something beyond your comfort zone.
Yes.
He didn't have to do that, but he did it. And that's the cool thing about it.
That's why I love human beings.
Oak Creek, man.
That's why I love
You're the
human
man.
beings.
You
So,
represent Oak Creek.
I still live in Oak Creek. I love that city.
Love it. Let's go. Okay.
So you guys both you have kids, and I mean this is not
yes.
beholden to just anyone that has kids.
You don't have kids.
You
Must
know,
be nice, right?
when you talk about death, one of the things that I think about is everything I'll miss out on. This is going to sound stupid, but you know, like I'm never going to live to see a million people on Mars. I'm never going to see the iPhone 25. I'm never going to see, you know,
But-
my nieces, whatever, their great grandkids. Do you ever think about the things you'll miss out on?
Of course.
Things that your kids will do that you won't be around for.
But you've seen these shows. You've seen these ideas that are out there. Could you take your digital identity and protect it and push it out, I don't know, 10,000 years from now? Could you
Sure.
do that?
Like
It's
the-
not your physical body, but it's your presence. It's your technology
Yes.
that's in your brain,
Like,
wired
yeah,
by your
like
brain,
the
but
Matrix.
now using computers, like the Matrix.
So that's actually interesting, Ian. Okay, so you know how we were talking about
Yeah.
the universe ending.
Ah,
So
yeah.
in that video, one of the things they were talking about is
gosh.
what if human beings
Oh,
get to the point
gosh.
where we can live in a simulation, like you said.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. You don't need any sort of. You could be on a space station, and we could all be on some computer. Would you?
Well,
you
how
do
about the
that?
technology we have now? DNA technology. Could
Right.
you take the essence of somebody, a syringe of blood,
Yeah.
a
And
swab, and then 10,000 or more years from now, you bring that person back because the technology now exists.
There's people that pay millions of dollars to freeze themselves.
Yes.
Freeze their
But
brains.
you guys don't think in heaven you don't know there's not a heaven iPhone? You never know. You never
let's
know,
get into-
man.
It's a good point.
You never know, man.
So
You guys-
heaven, God,
Don't limit.
religion.
Don't limit. You
I'm
never
not
know.
limited. You never know.
Do you guys, you believe in God?
Yes, I'm a spiritual dude, man. I went to Catholic school my whole life. It's kind of crazy. I went to grade school, Catholic. I went to high school, Catholic. And guess what? College, unbelievable, Catholic.
Wow.
Crazy, dude.
That's consistency.
That's
Right.
I was like,
I just did the grade school thing.
Oh,
for
must
Catholic.
Okay.
And I've said this. I'm a person of faith, but I've kind of shed the labels.
yes, me too.
Because
me too.
so
I say I'm spiritual. Yeah, I like that.
So
yeah.
I believe in God.
Yep.
I believe in something out there that's
Yep.
directed all of this. And I think that's the reason I do that is because I think that maintains your presence that this is something I should be doing and not of the opposite not doing, right?
Yep.
It gives you some sort of a moral compass.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And that's what guides me.
Yep.
The labels of religion, not that interested in anymore.
Yep.
I saw some crazy things when I was a Catholic.
Me too. Yeah,
We all did, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
And
I agree.
And the basic stuff is if you look at an old Cheech and Chong thing, how could those nuns be so mean? But
right?
they were.
Right. And then you got the bishop and everything's
Yes.
ranked higher. Like there's a ranking system where
Yes.
it's like I thought we were all.
Are we in the army here?
That's
or
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There should, so I have to if I sin, I got to go to a priest. So that means the priest is better than me. But then when the priest does something bad, who does he go to? The bishop and like,
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. I should be able to pray to God if I have sinned. Right.
Old school confession. This
Oh,
is me.
gosh.
This is
Oh, I
1960s
know.
Catholic.
Right.
We went to church every day.
Yep. Me too.
Every day of the week.
Me too.
So you wander up, they assemble in the school, you sit in the pews, and then one by one you walked up the center aisle
the
and you
booth,
did your confession
right? Yep.
out in the open with the
in front
priest.
of everybody?
Yeah, we didn't do that. Thank God.
And the kids in the front are trying to
I never
lean
had
in
to do
and
that.
listen to what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
they want to get you on something.
I mean, think about the pressure in that
Yeah, that's a lot of
situation.
pressure.
Yeah, I went to church. I grew up at Sunday every morning at 7 a.m. CCD,
Oh, wow.
all that. But I'm not a person of faith. I'm spiritual, I guess.
What's the
I don't
difference?
I don't know that. I guess spiritual really just means that I feel like I struggle with certain religions that say you have to follow this set of guidelines to get into heaven or hell or whatever that looks like. And I feel like as long as you're a good person and you do the things every human being knows that they're supposed to do and not do, I feel like if there is a heaven, regardless if I'm participating in going to church and all that,
It's a code of
it
conduct.
should get me in. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's a list of policies that you probably should adhere
Sure.
to if you want to have a good life.
Yeah, it's you don't have to be a genius to know that if you steal or you murder someone or you
Yeah.
do a myriad of things, that's probably not going to be a ticket to get you into heaven.
No.
and so
the 10 Commandments.
yeah,
really.
exactly.
So would you want to live forever though?
I would.
You
I'd
would?
sign up for it.
I would
If
too.
I don't want to be a senile old man. I want to be like
Hey, I agree. I could be functional.
like
still,
now or
yes.
earlier.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I could dial it back to like 40s, absolutely. I was running marathons in my 40s.
right?
Oh, dang.
That's an interesting question. Would you really want to live
Yeah.
forever? Because okay, so let's rephrase the question. Would you really want to live forever if you were the only one? So not your friends, not your family. So you'd have to watch loved ones die.
Yes, because
and
I'm
all
good
that.
at meeting people.
That's valid. But one of
There's
my
always
favorite,
a new friend,
right?
Or
There's
a new
always
family.
there's always a hotel lobby bar.
Somebody will adopt me.
No, I like what Steve said though. I think I would like to live forever, but not like if I'm 80 and 90 where I'm just
Yes.
pushing
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I don't think I would like that part, but if I was like
Like
in my
your prime.
40s, yeah, ooh, prime. Ooh, you're giving me prime?
How old are you, Ian?
Oh, I'm getting old. I'm turning 38 like
38. And Martin,
4
you're what,
days.
30
I'll
something?
be 41 this October.
Oh, you're getting up there now. You're almost to my age now.
Excuse
so.
me?
So-
How dare you? How dare you?
So you're telling me in my prime? Oh, I would live
That's
forever.
different. That's
Forever.
different.
Oh, you're pushing.
But I would argue technology will be able to do that. They will be able to rewrite your physical
Sure.
history.
How far? How? I don't think we're that far away from gene editing, and I don't know if you know what CRISPR is. Where
Sure.
I don't
Dropping
think
some
we're
CRISPR on me.
this guy.
I don't think
Come
we're that
on.
far
I
away
love
from
it.
human beings exceeding the 90, 100, 110-year-old
No
mark.
question. No
I bet
question.
you within 100 years, we'll be able to do it.
I love it, Martin.
I've told my daughters this. If I could have chosen to have my era, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked 100 years ago.
No.
I wouldn't have picked now. I would have picked 100 years from now.
Yeah.
With the same family and everything.
Sure.
But that's because I think that's going to be where the stories you're going to talk about are across the universe. Your body can be reconstructed. You can be brought back from almost anything. No cancer, all that stuff. That's the dynamics of what's going to happen in the next
That's
100 years.
deep.
That's what.
That's deep.
That's the stuff that is exciting because as smart as we are as human beings, there's still so many things that we do where it's like we go out of our way to kill ourselves. You look at like COVID right now and how we're going out of our way to let it come back, ruin everything, ruin people's lives.
Yeah,
and I want to get to that place where we don't make those as a collective society. We don't make those stupid decisions that hurt us and set us back.
I'm struggling with this right now because I've used this term "country of complainers."
Yeah,
there's way too much complaining going on, and to push back, whether you're pro-vax or against the vax, it's your call.
Yeah,
but when you have science and technology that allows you to thrive. In my mind, you should take advantage of that technology. Doesn't mean you have to, but I think most reasonable, rational adults would say, you know what? If I can be safer with that, I will do that thing.
Right.
And that's the way I look
like
at it.
Like a seatbelt.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. If we can return back to normal, if they say everyone gets the shot, we can return, even if I don't believe in it or not, and everything can go back to normal, man, you know what? So I live till I'm 80. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to do it because then I want, right? Like,
versus dying on a cruise ship when you're 46.
I agree.
You keep saying that. I'm going to be on 2 cruise ships. Like
Are you really?
Yes.
Oh, are you nervous?
No, I'm apprehensive.
I like that word.
I hope the rules are followed because I just saw somebody died on a cruise ship last week. So I mean, there's still some tension out there. Hopefully, it'll be okay.
So, tell me if you guys agree or disagree with this statement. I really feel like human beings, this world, everything that we've created, we've been through, I feel like there's 2 possible scenarios. The Big Bang Theory and all of this shit in us, we were just created out of a pure accident, or God created it. Either one is ridiculous if you take a step back and you think about it. But really, only one of them can be true.
Oh, you're gonna cause trouble.
I don't want to get.
Well, is that true? Could only one of them be true?
That's what I'm saying. You're causing trouble, Martin.
Because think about it. If there's a God and He created all this and created us, what's with all the suffering? If someone has the power to create
that's
that,
a good point.
Then what? Are we puppets? Are we
that's the
ants?
That's the weakness of man or woman. That's our. God, it can be a lot of things. But part of being a human being on this planet is you're going to have free will. Like any animal on this planet has free, they decide what their next course of action is. We're unlike, or we're most like all the other animals, right? We do the similar things. We have the same things built in our DNA. We're just all different variations of that same thing. So I think you can believe 2 things. You can believe in God and the Big Bang.
Okay.
Yeah.
In my world.
Yeah.
Ian?
I agree. I think you got to take some pieces. Some stuff is scientific. Some stuff are facts. I mean, you gotta take it's a tough question.
It's a bit because think about it. The Big Bang, really? So fish grew feet, and we walked out, and then we created Teslas and space stations
over millions and billions of years.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous to think. Okay, so let's say there's not a God. Let's say all the religions are wrong, and that's what happened. Really, we're sitting here at this podcast right now,
but the course
completely aware of our surroundings, just out of pure coincidence.
Yeah, but the course is working. There's cavemen, and we got better. Now look at the technology too. So there's got to be something to be said.
It seems either scenario seems absolutely mind-boggling and crazy, regardless of what you believe. I guess that was my whole statement.
The Big Bang sounds
so. If it's all just a subject of a Big Bang, if there's no relevance beyond that, so what would the message be? It would be the same message. I want to live a great life. That's where I started with. Experiences, loves, family, all that stuff. I'd still do the same thing.
So what you're saying is it all matters regardless of how we got here,
regardless of the context. I'm still going to do the same thing. And that's the way I approach it. It comes from positivity.
I like that. Here's an interesting question I wanted to ask. Do cemeteries still have a place in 2021? With Facebook and Twitter and all of this content, all of this information, I can read. When Ian dies, I can go on Google and I can find everything I need to mourn and to laugh.
I think I got a better idea. I think I got a better idea.
Or I could go to your gravestone.
I'm gonna go to my
dirt.
Gravestone, but have a video, solar power video, waterproof, and then you can press play, and
Ian's
then you'll
greatest
pick up
hits.
my highlights and whatever, and then I live on or whatever. If you miss me, you can go click and see how many goals I scored. I don't know. I just think I'm going to change the game. Maybe
I think that already exists. Actually, I think there's
even better. Really?
Yeah. Now here's an interesting Steve trivia.
Sure.
I'm actually the caretaker of a cemetery.
Are you really? Is that in your LinkedIn profile?
What?
It's not in my profile. Oakwood Rest Cemetery, one of the oldest cemeteries in Oak Creek.
Really?
It's not a paid position. It's a group of people who care about the future of the cemetery. I have a plot in that cemetery, so I do still care about cemeteries.
Nice.
And part of what we do is we talk to people who are burying loved ones, whether by cremation or in a coffin in a crypt. It's an amazing thing to have that conversation because it's often some of the saddest times for people, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Burying their family members, their relatives. But yet you can offer this, that someone will always look after this piece of ground. The world's going to change. Even cemeteries at some point become archaeological sites, right?
Right.
So nothing is permanent, but for that moment when it matters, when your relatives are still alive and your kids and their kids' kids, it's a place they can go to remember that person.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
point.
that's
That's a good
you know,
point.
whether the digital thing lives on, I think it will because it makes sense, right? I have, here's an example. I was on Facebook yesterday. I see people wishing happy birthday to someone they kind of knew. I know that this person had passed away like 6 months ago.
Wow.
It's a weirdness
Here's
of
a-
Facebook.
So what? That's a good. This is a good segue. What do we do with our digital selves when we die? Because when
digital
we
footprint?
when we die, we've got this podcast. Ian's got all his videos. You got your radio show. We have more invested online and on the internet of our lives than we have in the couple photo books that we have and some old recipes. So what happens to our digital lives? Have you ever even thought about that?
I think it's reassuring in some way that you're like my grandsons. They're 5 and 2 now. 10 years from now, when they get older and they actually care about some of this stuff, they go, "Hey, this is what my grandpa did.
Yeah,
he was
a
on
good
the
dude.
radio, or he was a mayor." Matter of fact,
Yeah.
when we buried the time capsule for our new city hall at Drexel Town Square a few years ago, I put in the context for my 2 daughters, knowing that in 50 years they'll be much older, but that's something they might be
crazy.
interested in.
Yes.
Right? I'll be gone, but they'll be around.
That's crazy.
And that's not something that we ever had access to with our parents or grandparents. We can't go back and
only photos. But like
we can't go back and listen to
Yeah.
them on a radio show
Sure.
or a podcast
Yeah.
or a YouTube video or a TikTok or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so, I guess Facebook and Instagram actually allow the memorialization of
changed
your
the game.
account.
Yeah, they changed
So
the
you
game.
can basically, if you go into settings in Instagram and Facebook, there's a setting in there where you can assign someone, sister, parent, friend, whatever, to take over your account,
Really? I did not know
memorialize
that.
it,
Yeah.
and then people can comment on there. But it stays up as kind of like a closed off account. It says that that you've passed away, so you don't have people wishing you happy birthday, like you said.
That's awkward.
Twitter has nothing like that. YouTube, TikTok, none of those apps have anything like that. But I mean, are you guys set up? Have you ever thought about that? Like,
I haven't.
Boy, I should probably do something.
The legacy lives on whether you want it to or not, in some way.
Right.
In some way.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't. Man, I don't think about that stuff, man. It is what it is, right? I mean, if you die a legend,
What if someone
you die a
what if someone
legend.
hacks
You
your
don't?
Facebook in 2085?
Even
and
better. Yeah, keep me alive.
tries to bring Ian Bennett back.
Keep me alive. Hey, if you can make some money off it too, more power to you, man. I did some good.
Star athletes Facebook
Right.
hacks.
Yeah, right.
It's perfect.
Do you think we need to be a multi-planet species like
Oh,
Elon Musk
gosh.
says? Do you think human beings need to colonize the moon or Mars?
I'm
or-
all in.
I am too.
I would have been on the moon already. They should have done that.
Yes.
Well, now, the bigger question is, would you go?
That's the big question.
Would you go?
That's the big.
If it
question.
was, yeah,
It's
Ian,
unknown. I don't know.
Get yourself a little moon
you
condo?
gonna or is there
A
going to be a
Cybertruck
dinosaur
on there?
Are there raptors there going to just take? I don't know. Like
I want to see Ian. Think of
No.
how far you could kick a soccer ball in the moon.
Yeah, but you don't
Forever.
know who's there though yet. I might let you guys go. Be the guinea pigs first.
Well, it could be
and
this
then-
very like paradisical place where only good people are there, and like you're a good match, and
There's got to be aliens, man. There's got to be something. No, there's
Do you
got to be a
think?
different life form. There's got to be something different there.
there's aliens.
That's the scary thing. Our view of the universe is shaped by alien movies, basically.
Yeah.
Oh God, right?
Always the
Yeah.
worst. Always the
Predator.
worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Never the good stuff.
No, never.
Independence
That's-
Day.
Oh, that is a good point.
Sitting
Never
in
the
a
good stuff.
field on some planet,
Yeah.
light
Yeah.
years away, just enjoying yourself, a nice picnic with eating some weird local
Yeah.
shrubbery.
Right? Or like,
That's
have you ever
true.
seen the movie Contact with
Oh, yes. Matthew
Jodie
McConaughey?
Foster and Matthew McConaughey? Have you ever seen it, Ian?
No.
It's
an
it
old
came out
movie?
like that.
See,
80s or
probably-
90s.
you and your old
Yeah,
movies,
20
man.
years old. Yeah.
It's a great movie. Treat yourself.
Okay.
So basically, this like alien species contacts us and teaches us how to build a spaceship that can then go through like a wormhole. And Jodie Foster goes through this,
Okay.
and she visits this other planet and makes contact with a different alien species that's like nice and doesn't want to kill us.
I'll stick to my ET. I'll just stick to ET,
I
man.
mean, what if there is? Does that negate religion and God and
No. Why would it?
Because that you would
The
think,
universe is vast. There could be all kinds of life forms, just like there's all kinds of life forms on Earth, right?
Yeah,
It's
sure.
It's diverse.
Yeah.
We celebrate diversity, including all the things that live in the universe. Now, the chances are, this is the thing that always gets me about aliens. they make them kind of look like us.
I know.
Chances are they're not going to look like us
Right.
at all.
Well, but if God created human beings in his image, wouldn't aliens
there you go.
be?
There's Martin with that religion again, trying to get us back.
Yeah.
Or did they develop some from weird space fish and they have like 10 hands and
No, the only thing
it
I'm
looks
worried
like an
about,
octopus?
No, the only thing
wearing
I'm
a
worried
brewer's
about would
hat.
be the creatures, right? They got to be if they're animals there, because I got to know how to protect myself, man. Is it like a dog is going to be friendly, or is it going to attack me? Like like Men in Black, that little animal that turns into a big thing. And
Yes.
I don't know, man.
You don't know till it's chasing
That's
you.
what I'm saying. That's my only problem. But if it was, I don't know, if I had like a stun gun or something,
if you
I'd be-
extend your hand
Yeah.
and it shakes it, you're good. If it bites your hand, you got something to worry about.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to lose a hand when I go out in space. But
Right.
like if I'm good, I don't know. I'll send you two first, and then you call me. You call
volunteering
me.
us
You
for
call
our
me,
first
and
mission.
then if you're like Ian, it's good. I'll come.
Right.
100%.
You got to be here, Ian. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'll come.
So this episode is called "You're Gonna Die," and
Gosh.
so I guess last
harsh.
Such a bad- I
question.
know.
We'll start with you, Ian.
Such a clickbait.
It's kind of
It's
it's a double question.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson and thing you've learned in your life, and then after that, what do you want your funeral to look like?
No, I think I got that answer. Actually, it's the only answer I got. Finally, no, I think I want to leave a legacy where, and it's not about this guy had this guy did this. I just want everyone to know, like, you know what, that Ian Bennett kid was a really, really good kid. He was a really good guy. He was friendly. He was awesome. He helped out a lot of people. He was just a solid guy. I don't care. They don't need to know me for scoring goals. They don't need to know me for anything. I want them to know me that he was a good person. He was always there to help people. That's what I want. And you know what? I want the haters and
You
the
have
good
haters?
people. Yeah, I bet I do. I want the haters.
I wanna meet 'em.
And I want the haters to be like, and to the good people, I want them to be like, you know what? I know what you're saying, but Ian was a good guy. That's what I would love for. That's all. I would love that, because there is going to be haters. He's the mayor. There's probably people that loved him and people that hated him, right?
That's true.
It's perfect. So I would love for that to be like the good people that said I was a good guy to go to the haters and be like, you know what, you're wrong. So that would be my legacy, just being a good person.
What do you want your funeral to look like?
Oh, the funeral, 1 million people, thousands of people coming. No, honestly, I could care less, to be honest.
Really?
I could care, as long as my immediate family was there. The people that
Church,
really cared
ham
for me.
sandwiches in the basement afterwards.
No, it's a celebration. No, wait, time out. It's a celebration. There's no boring stuff. I want people crying a tear of joy and like we're dancing, we're having a great time. I want them to remember me like that. Like, yeah, I want.
So a DJ.
Oh, 100%. 100%. If
Maybe
there's
on
no
a
DJ,
yacht?
if I go before my wife, if my wife doesn't have a DJ there, I will haunt her.
You got that in the will?
Oh, I will haunt her. I will haunt her. And my girls
Tip over the vase in the bedroom every single
What's
night.
the first song they play at your?
Have a baby by me, 50 Cent, 100%. Right. That's my theme song.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my theme song.
Is that what you conceived the two girls? to?
Seriously, like you don't even want to know. Like I always wanted a boy, and I got 2 girls, and I was like, do I go again? Do I go in for another one? No chance.
Here's how it works out sometimes. I had 2 daughters. I have 2 grandsons.
Oh,
See how it works?
So the girls could give you 2 grandsons.
Yes.
And then you can give them. Then you can give them
Okay,
back.
but
when
how do
they-
we live the legacy though? How do we do it? Can we flip the game though? Can we say you got to take the Bennett name? But how are they gonna?
You want
that.
the girls to take the Bennett name.
I just don't know.
Well, they can if they want to.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But are they that strong? Are they gonna? The men's gonna be like, what are you talking?
That
about?
might be normal.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I like that. I like that. Answer.
Steve, what's the biggest thing you've learned in your life so far?
Dang.
I hope I've learned a lot of
Biggest
things. You know,
I know that's
this
a
is a big
stupid
one.
kind of superficial question,
No.
but being serious,
This is the one thing I've learned that I still am working on. You got to listen better. And I do a radio show, so listening is important. I interview a lot of people. I interviewed a few people on the show today. Listening is something that we are moving away from. We're not listening. We're just shouting at people. We're just assuming that everyone believes what we believe. You got to listen better. So that's one thing. The other thing is, like Ian said, I want people to say about me at some point, he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what? He wasn't an idiot. He wasn't known for being controversial, even though I have a radio show. He wasn't known for his hot takes. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He reasoned through things in a way that we thought, you know what? I never thought of it that way.
Exactly.
That's why I listen. That's what I want.
That would be. I agree.
like that.
I agree, man.
I'll be one of those people.
What do you? Because what do you want? This guy had a ton of money. He was a man.
Richest
he had all
guy in the graveyard,
Yeah, like what is that? He had the
or-
best cars. Like, is that really? Like, is that really?
Right.
That's what you want to know? Oh, this guy had so much money and he bought so many things. Like, what the? But you're not talking about you. You're talking about the things he had. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Steve, what do you want your funeral to look like?
You know, Ian said, I think, the right thing there. You want it to be a celebration of life. So I want my family, obviously, all the rest of it is just trappings, right? Obviously, some great food.
Yeah.
I love food, Italian food. I'm half Italian and half
Italiano,
Scottish, Irish.
let's
So
go.
we're going to eat well.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I want them to remember the person and the life lived, not all the trappings of the funeral. And
Yeah, man.
I'm going to be cremated.
Yes,
I
me too.
decided
Me
that a
too, me
long
too.
I
time
said that
ago.
too. I said that too. Yeah.
I just think that's the way that I want to do it. I don't want a visitation or
Yeah,
anything like
me
that.
either, man. I
just-
agree.
Your
That's not my
body in a
thing.
casket,
Dude, I know.
for everyone to just hover over.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of that.
No.
No, I can't stand that.
And I understand everyone has their own
Yep,
wishes,
sure.
but that's
I
not
agree.
me.
Yeah, I can't.
Cremate me. At one point, I used to say I want my ashes scattered around the world. My wife goes, that's really expensive. You probably should rethink that.
Yeah.
But
No,
I would
it's
love that. I mean, a little bit in the Pacific Ocean, the
Yeah.
Atlantic Ocean, my birthplace in England, a little bit in the
wrong with that?
sea. Why not? Maybe the centerpiece, Drexel Town Square. Somebody walks through, drops a few ashes.
I bet if
Dude,
you
and
put
they
in your
get-
will, you
and they
put a
get to
couple
see that stuff.
a little
That would be
envelope full of money for some grandkids and tell them, hey, when you go to England, take
There you go.
take
Put
grandkids
you in
happens.
something
ashes
nice.
with.
Put you in a nice something nice. A little urn. Okay.
I like that.
What about you, Martin?
I'm with you guys. I really want people to remember me for being a good person, and I think my biggest thing is contributing to the progression and the positive progression of the human race, and doing my small part in connecting people and making friends.
You do
and-
connect a lot of
and-
people,
and-
man. You're like the
and
connector.
helping
should
inspire
run
other
for
people
office.
to
Yeah, seriously,
you know,
gosh. You know everybody.
What's your big thing?
what do you mean?
Looking back,
Yeah.
what's Martin's big thing? Somebody looking back at your life. What's your big thing?
My vlog.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mike, you put a lot of work into that.
I
thing.
love that. Yeah.
The thing that I loved about my vlog was being able to document my life is awesome and just go back at the click of a button and relive any day in the last 6 years. But the biggest thing was the people that I met. I get really frustrated when I hear people talk shit about Milwaukee, like when Stephen A. Smith called it
Oh,
a terrible
I know,
city.
I know.
Because
Jeez.
I got to meet people from every corner of this city on the vlog, and that really opened my eyes as to what it meant to be a good person. And we're all the same, and we all just want to be happy and healthy and have good jobs and good friends and family. And that really became apparent when I did the vlog, and I would meet people every day and work with companies and just meet random people on the street. And so I just want to be that person, I guess, is my biggest.
There's always
biggest thing.
great people out there that you haven't met yet.
Yes, that's what I love about
That's the adventure. That's the fun. That's
Society.
the excitement of it.
Right,
Right. That's
right.
why you live
even
your life.
people you disagree with.
Yeah.
Some of the people that I disagree with on the most simplest things are still like some of the most lovely people in my life, and I won't trade them for anything. And so,
Isn't it funny how you can handle people that disagree, but then the other way around, some people can't handle you? Like, you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
kind
the
of funny,
internet,
right?
the internet exacerbates
Right?
that.
Right?
It's a big problem.
It's
now.
funny, right? Like, it's just, I mean,
Intolerance.
if I disagree with you, that's awesome. Like, I'm not gonna be, dude, I don't like you anymore. Right? I don't like you. No, I'm
Or they
just like,
hate you
oh, here
before
we go.
you've ever even
That's-
spoken a
I
word.
hate that. That for me, that's my pet peeve.
Here's the thing. Diversity of opinion is just as important as all the other diversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
my message.
would you
That's
really-
my message of the podcast.
Preach, yo.
Right?
Preach.
Would you really
Jeez,
want to
that's
live in a
gem.
world where
That's a
everyone
gem.
looked like you, thought like you,
That's a
talked
gem.
like you?
That'd be
Think
boring.
how boring that would be.
Yes. You want something other than what you think.
Right?
Thrown at you so
Yeah.
you can rethink
Yep.
and shape
Right.
your conclusion.
Dude, man.
I know for my funeral, I want open bar.
Yes.
I want a DJ.
Yes.
I want my vlog playing on repeat
On
in
a
the
loop,
corners,
yeah.
On a
and then I
loop.
want people to roast me. I want people to go up there
Yes.
drunk,
Ooh, I like that.
talk shit about me,
Yeah.
make fun of me.
I might have to
celebrate me.
record mine so it could be played at
Yes.
the thing because
Yeah.
I probably won't be
But I
around.
want
That's
I want
true.
it to be a celebration of my life. I
Yes.
don't. The thing I hate about funerals, especially ones with like open caskets and
tough,
a
man.
typical
It's tough.
church funeral it's not a celebration of life. It's a mourning of death, and I don't want that to be the case.
You
for
had a
me.
good
I want
life.
it to be a
You had a-
celebration
yeah,
of my
you
life.
had a good life,
I
right?
don't like mourning the death of people. I like celebrating their life, and I
If
don't.
it's a
I don't
tragedy,
feel like we.
I think that one's tough. But if you know what I mean, if die natural causes or you just I think you should go out. I think you should go out with a bang. Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Final question, Ian.
Oh, I hate your final question sometimes. They're-
What's one thing you're thankful for being alive today?
Oh gosh. Oh, I think I'm thankful that I could procreate. Right. I got 2 daughters. Because I mean,
Not
let's be
everyone
honest,
can.
Not everyone can, and they go through, and you have to adopt, which is great and stuff and all that. But like, I'm leaving a form of myself. Like, God forbid nothing happens to them, but I'm leaving a form of me with them if I go,
Yeah.
for a little bit longer. And then again, if they have kids, it's still a little piece of me too. So I think the ability to, God blessed me to have 2 daughters, one and a boy. But I think I'm leaving.
Boy, you always got to just stick that punch in there.
No, because I gotta let them know. Because they always think. No, I gotta let them know. I love them to death. I love them to death.
But one of you should have been a brother.
But no.
Well, have you given up? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But when you have 2 daughters, trust me,
true.
you tap early. And no, but they're great. No, they're awesome. And they're honestly, they got some boy tendencies. They play soccer. They're beasts. But no, I think for me, that was my best thing because then I could essentially live on. Like, right? So through them.
Steve, today, the thing you're most thankful for.
I mean, family's always got to be number one, right? I mean, I have such a great family, extended family. I've
Yeah.
been lucky. My parents are 85.
That's
and,
awesome,
And they're
dude.
still healthy, and they
Dude,
walk
that's
5
awesome.
miles every morning.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's part of it.
awesome.
I'm thankful for the people that listen to me every day because let's be honest, they don't have to.
No.
Right.
You know what?
No.
They don't have to spend 3.5 hours with me, and some people do. I did
Sweet.
a shout out yesterday for Dorothy Myers, 99 years old, yesterday. She listens religiously every day.
What?
I said, I got to talk about Dorothy, and I talked about her life and her
Absolutely.
kids and her grandkids
Send her a
and
mug.
her great grandkids. So I appreciate that. And, you know, being thankful is something that we should all do.
Yep.
But we often don't express it.
Yeah, you don't. That's true. You don't
let it
tell
go.
the
You-
level.
it's just like, whatever.
You take
Yeah.
it for granted. You're like, it's all right. You'll be there.
exactly.
You'll be there. Yeah.
You should express that and say the words, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you, more.
I'm on par with you guys.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank
you, Ian.
Steve.
Thank you, guys. Let's end it with that.
Thank you,
Steve.
guys.
Thanks so much for coming
What
on
a
the
cool
podcast.
dude,
It's
man.
been
This
great
is
being on the
awesome.
mic.
What a
I'm
cool
glad
dude.
you and Ian got to meet.
Yeah.
This is a great conversation.
Okay,
about-
so here's the thing. Just as we close,
Yeah.
Now we're going to have you come on my show together, and we're going to have a similar conversation, not about death,
sure.
Thank God.
but something else.
God,
Is that an agreement?
Yes,
100%.
All right, we're all in.
Knowing
that
you
that will
now?
happen on my show.
Yeah. I just
Steve,
think Steve's a good
thank
dude,
you.
man.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people listen to you?
Yeah.
Joe?
AM 620 WTMJ
Damn. He's
every day,
big
Monday
time.
through Friday. This
guy's big time.
8:35 to noon.
This guy's big time. Like, I thought I was cool.
You are cool.
I thought I was cool.
Trust
Nah.
me, you're cooler than I am.
Nah,
but,
I thought
but
I was
appreciate
cool. I thought I was cool. Martin's bringing some great guests. No, honestly, Steve, you're the man. Thank you so much, man. That is our show. God bless. Bless up. Do your thing. Big Bang Theory. Martin's got all the theories. Man. Martin's all the theories.
That was fun, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good to meet you, man.
Dude, you're the man. You are the man.
So, will you take me up on it? You come on?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's do it.
I mean, I got nothing to do during the day. I just coach my kids at 5 o'clock.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Catch us on our social at Said No One Pod.
See you next time.
On next week's episode,
We got some great episodes coming up. Next episode, we have Quentin Allums, a friend of mine. He's a huge LinkedIn influencer.
Yes.
Has owned a couple businesses, a VR company.
I'm excited about
Failure.
Oof.
I can't wait to talk about it.
To be honest, I think this is gonna be our biggest episode if people really tuned in, because I think they will spread it just by listening to us. And I mean, obviously, I don't even know what we're obviously the conversation is gonna end up with. But for me, this is just a big topic.
Yeah,
So for
because
me, I hope it turns into a gem.
What I can't wait to get into is, I mean, obviously, a lot of my failures and stuff have gotten me to where I am today, and I've learned a lot. But getting into, too, for you, how you mentally go and preparing for the next season and the training and each game, throwing your heart and soul into it, and then maybe not making it to the playoffs or making it deep into the playoffs, and then your season's over. I can't wait to get into what is that like.
That's the worst feeling, man. Yeah.
I love this. This sounds stupid as fuck, but I love this quote from Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Yoda says, "Failure, the biggest teacher is."